We watch the world wake up from history every morning on this show, and who isn't counting down till that U2 concert at Spartan Stadium in late June, by the way. You know, we had to wait an extra year because Bono threw his back out or whatever happened last year.
Did I tell you I met him on the elevator the other day?
Where?
In the Capitol.
You
I
did?
opened up the elevator in the basement, and who's standing there? I'm
No
like,
kidding.
yeah.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, he's very friendly.
Was he?
Yeah, very friendly.
He's probably going around saying, you know who I ran into the other day in the elevator?
No, I
Congressman
doubt he
Mike
is.
Rogers.
I doubt he was. He had the sunglasses on. The hair was spiked up. I'm thinking, he's not going to have a clue who I am. But I had a great chat with him. He was very gracious, very friendly. Yeah.
Oh, fun. Well, see, he sees Bono in person. We're going to be with 100,000 people in Spartan Stadium. Or
Well,
whatever
that's still cool.
Speaking of cool,
My wife's a big fan of his, so she was very mad at me that I met him in the elevator.
You could have called her and said, "Can you speak to my wife for just a second?"
Exactly. I should have done that. That would have been great.
These things happen fast. You never know how to react to
Well,
this kind of thing.
it's not often you get out in the elevator in the basement of the Capitol, right, which is not all that glamorous, and the doors open and there's Bono standing there.
Yeah, a little out of context.
I'm like, First of all, it took me a minute. I'm like, wait a minute.
Tony Baltimore, I ran into not as exciting, but at the
It really is as exciting. Really.
It is.
Yeah.
And he had pictures of the dead Osama bin Laden on his iPhone. He was showing them everyone. No, that's not true. Only a few people have seen it, but you're one of them.
Yeah.
And it's not that impactful to you because you've seen it all, having been with the FBI. But the rest of do you think someday that everyone will get to see those pictures? Is there any reason for it?
I don't think so. I mean, there are, there's crime scene photos that we don't release every day in this country because they're gruesome and there's really no business in seeing that. I don't see the value in it. And again, I know there's a lot of people say, oh, we deserve to see the pictures. My argument, again, was if one soldier in Afghanistan loses their life because of a surge of violence because we released the photos, it's not worth it. Mm-hmm. And we saw a spike in violence against soldiers. I was actually talking to one the other day who was in Iraq right after the Abu Ghraib photos came up, and he said, sure enough, we could track the level of violence when those photos came out. And why would we risk the life of one soldier for a picture? He's dead. It's gruesome. He's got a gunshot wound to the head. That's about all you need to know about it.
Yeah, that Pastor Terry Jones was on the program with us last week. He's coming back to Michigan again, and this time he's going to have a protest at the Arab American Festival down there in Dearborn in the middle of June. He just keeps poking the bear, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Christian, a person of faith. I just don't understand the poking of, it's supposed to be about bringing people over, not poking them in the eye. And
yeah,
I just don't think it's helpful. It's certainly he's expressing his First Amendment rights. He has absolutely every right to do it.
Does he want to be Salman Rushdie? I mean, could happen easily enough, couldn't it?
Could be.
They could come. I mean, and then I read this story too here.
Well, although I will tell you, he came up and got on your radio show.
True that.
Yeah.
The SEALs who killed bin Laden are concerned for their safety?
Yes, unfortunately, there's been so much conversation about the Special Forces unit that is not supposed to be mentioned in public, that they had to make extra security precautions now for their families. And it's just unfortunate. People just can't keep their mouths shut. And that's unfortunate. Now, listen, if my money'd be on one of those Special Forces guys, if you want to kick in their door and come in their house.
Yeah, good luck to you.
But the real fear is when they're gone so much that their families are exposed. So we're going to take precautions to make sure that their families, and doing everything that we can to keep their identity. There's a lot of news outlets trying to figure out who it is.
Sure.
And my argument is leave them alone. I mean, why put their they've already risked our lives for us. Don't put their families at risk.
I like the guy who said there is no SEAL Team 6. They don't exist. There's no such thing. That's the kind of answer that you should give, right?
Perfect. You should be talking about the Special Forces team, and I will say it's wrong if most people are wrong when they identify a particular unit anyway. They're wrong. Now they keep doing it, and it keeps repeating it, so people keep repeating it. But it was not a particular unit. These are elite Special Forces teams. End of story.
The government ended this, it's called controversial counterterrorism program. I don't know what it is. It's where men living in the U.S. who came from mostly Muslim countries have to register with federal authorities. We're going to do away with that.
I think there's some subject of debate, and it's not they didn't necessarily have to register. They just if you're coming from a foreign country anyway,
Yeah.
you register who you are, what your visa status is, and all of that. If they're talking about doing away with the visa status, that's
National Security Entry-Exit Registration System.
yeah, I don't know why we would do that, because it's more than just Muslims. There are other threats out there in the world, and we use that system to monitor people who may or may not be a threat to the United States. And it's not done with U.S. citizens. It's done with foreigners who
Right.
are here on some type of a visa.
And deserve
Could
to
be
looked
from
at.
Muslim countries. It could be Chinese, Russian. Could be any of them.
Are we going to identify a presidential candidate for the Republicans anytime soon? Mike Huckabee said no thanks this weekend. Who's left?
Michael Patrick Shields.
No.
2012.
Mike Rogers. That's who.
No, I don't think so.
What about Senate? We don't have a. I mean, it seems like the celebrity.
I have another
candidates are
suggestion.
dropping off here.
Michael Patrick Shields. What do
I
you think?
can't
I'm going
ask
to get the
people
rumor
for money.
started right now.
I can't ask people for money. That's why I can
know.
never run. That's got to be the hardest part.
Oh, that's the worst part. Especially when you're brought up. My family is you brought up. You don't ask. You don't
Yeah.
ask for nothing. You
Right.
get out and work for it. And,
Yeah.
And if it doesn't come, you work a little harder. But at the end, here's how I'll tell you that transformation for me is that I realize it's not for me or the office. You're investing in something that you believe in politics. And once you get over that hump, you can talk to people and say, if you believe in the kinds of things that I'm going to represent in Washington, who put that music on? That's pretty good. I got to love it. I can hear it in my headphones. That's
Let me
funny
be
right
clear.
there.
No new
Yeah.
taxes.
Let me be clear.
We'll continue with Congressman Mike Rogers, the Republican from Brighton, all across Michigan in a flash.